Did you do what I say? Well, you're actually one of the first people here, Mr. Outlaw. Did you do what I say for those who didn't get their notification? He said, I was already on YouTube. I'm just glad I checked. He's like, I got it. Well, I'm glad you did get it. This is day 4, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy Royster, what's up? Thank you, man, for your donation to the Stream Lab, man. I'm glad you made a live chat. Wow, this is a special day. Even boxing socialist himself, Sean Craddock, is here. Well, I'm still waiting for the Hulu results to show up. He's like, I'm about to get off. And just like Jeremy Royster, you guys could donate in the Stream Lab by clicking the link below in the description box. Or you can hit up the Cash App. The name is still Carcino. Now, let's get into further detail of what happened today in the courtroom. Today, they decided to cross-examine one person. And that person that they wanted to cross-examine was George Rivera. Okay, I see you guys there. A rat calling another man a rat. He said you gotta stream at one at a time. Okay, I'll stream at 4 o'clock in the morning. I guarantee you nobody will be streaming but me. So anyway, today, Rivera was on trial. Now, Rivera was the guy who was hired to drive 6ix9ine. He admitted that he didn't really know 6ix9ine like that. But Michael Longyear, who's the USAA guy, yep. He was on the stand and they asked him, they started right off. Michael Longyear came up and said, did Shotty say who was in the car? And then where the assault rifle was kept. This is Exhibit 801B. And he came in there in a suit, blue tie. And he's like, Mr. Rivera, was there another shooter later than the same night? Yes. And what happened? We heard other people walking around towards us and they started shouting. They was like, what happened after the gun went off? The police started searching for us. When the police frisked me, they didn't find anything. Mr. Rivera, I want to switch gears now. What is your immigration status? Did they come at a time where you were arrested by ICE? Yes. Were you detained? Did you speak with law enforcement about cooperating? Yes. Mr. Rivera, when you were released, did you start driving for a Mr. Hernandez again? Yes. As a confidential informant? The judge comes in. Why don't you stretch your legs while we take a brief break? Why did the judge come right in and interrupt right then and there when he asked it? They made it like a movie. They interrupted the guy right when they asked him, was he a confidential informant? As soon as they asked him that, they said, Judge Engelmeyer, my judge has a first name, is Nigel. So he comes right in and they do a sidebar. And they come back and they start back talking again. Basically confirming that he was definitely snitching because he was caught for immigration by ICE. And they made a deal with him to use him as a snitch. So now they come back and say, Mr. Rivera, on July the 22nd, 2018, was there a camera installed in that Chevrolet Tahoe? Yes. Was it recording? Yes. Exhibit 604. Then they was like, Mr. Warren, the judge coming there yelling, the witness is testifying about the thought process of Mr. Hernandez. You need him to focus on what was said. Now, Exhibit 604 pauses at 12 seconds. Mr. Rivera, do you know where the Park Slope Andrew lived? No. Then it is paused at 1 minute for the record. Mr. Rivera, did you tell Mr. Hernandez that's our car was hit from behind? And why were you going to get them? What was you going to get them to do? Why did the camera get more narrow in its view? And he's like, Mr. Rivera, did you have two cameras installed in that car? Yes, one was pointed ahead. I remember I used to work for a car service customer and they were always already recording. So he went to go try to get help. And they was like, after you walk back to the car, where did he point the gun at you? At my head. So he's the main guy here. And he's like, now, he said, now they're again playing the video of the carjacking. And 6ix9ine's telling her, I've always treated you right. And he was like, did you make a recording July 26, 2018 of Mr. Hernandez and Shotty? Yes. AUSA, Mr. Rivera, what is your understanding the government will do in exchange for your cooperation? They'll give me a letter saying all is good as well as the bad things that I have done is gone. 6ix9ine driver George Rivera gets a 5K1 letter too, just like 6ix9ine. After cross-examining, Mr. Canick comes in and said, Mr. Rivera, were you aware that Mr. Hernandez has a number of ratio and social media appearances on July 22nd, 2nd, and 23rd, right after the supposed kidnapping? No, only the Instagram video I saw. Do you recall watching a video of Mr. Hernandez being interviewed by Angie Martinez? Rivera stated, I only watching it, but I never finished it. He's like, Craig, did you ever advise Takashi that you were cooperating with the law enforcement? He said, no. Did you ever come to believe that Takashi suspected you were cooperating? Yes, towards the end. The end. Well, it might be information here that could save you. So, yeah, that's why people waste their time. They want to know it might be some information that save you and get you out of a jam. And as you can see, and don't forget to hit the like button, people. You wait all this time to say what's up with the Cubbies. We're in trouble. We're falling apart. So, anyhow, continuing on, this guy, George, had stated and admitted that he was working in concert behind the scenes. Now, why is that happening is the bigger question. Why is this happening? Why is this taking place? Because it doesn't make any sense. Not to anybody involved. Yeah, it's a bit crazy. Well, it's a lot of stuff that was going on during the time. Oh, what is a 5K1 letter? A 5K1 letter in federal court is the beneficial is like it's like this it's where a criminal's punishment can be mitigated so he will serve less time based on cooperation he's given. What they call the downward departure from the federal government. In order for cooperation of snitching, we're willing to waive all of these details. So it's used in plea bargaining and sentencing, you know, conviction of felons, and like I think mandatory of 10 years have to be the sentence for you to qualify for that. Um, if the case have already been reached or discussed, discussion and sentencing, you are way late to start worrying about those things. The defense attorney would have been dealing with these type of things from the beginning in like a plea bargain. So that's what the 5K1 really represents. Yeah. So yeah, well, that's where a lot of people are making mistakes. But Takashi said a very key word, or well, George did. He said Takashi figured out that he had he said Takashi had figured out that he had was cooperating towards the end. So if it was towards the end, Takashi figured out George Rivera, the driver, was working with the feds. You know, like where did that come from? Like where did they go after that? See, that's the point I believe a lot of people are missing out on. Where are they going with this? The paperwork out on Snoop, yeah, that whole thing's been done. That's old stuff. I mean, to you guys, it's all new, and but that stuff is like 20 years old to us. Like I've told you, it's been reported. Don't forget to hit the Cash App up. The name's Carcino on the Cash App. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's this whole game is retarded. My buddy's on his way to get his Monster Hunter. His internet crashed and he couldn't hack. He had to do an update. He got Borderlands 3. He crushing on Borderlands 3. And he got to get his Monster Hunter Ice World. Well, when you put two snitches together, you get a lot of information. They both be snitching on each other, and you get all the truth you need. So, but here's another thing. In the U.S. versus Jones trial, in which 6ix9ine testified last week, and his driver, George Rivera, earlier today, the one we just talked about, his testimony, there has been a sealed document filed, and it's been sealed and placed in a vault. This is weird. So all the information that you basically heard, the U.S. versus Jones trial, in which 6ix9ine testified last week, and his driver George Rivera earlier today. There's been a sealed document filed and placed in the vault. Docket number 319 has been sealed and thrown into a vault. That is the biggest story here. So there is a filed document that has been sealed and thrown into a vault. All pertaining to this case. Something's going on here. I mean, they just did it like 20 minutes ago. It was entered on 9/23/2019 at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh man. So this was done just minutes ago. Like less than an hour ago. Document number 319. Sealed document placed in the vault. Case number 118-CR-00834-PAE. USA versus Jones, etc. Sealed and thrown in the vault. Why is that? That is the biggest thing in this case. They can say what they want. I think the funniest thing in the whole thing when they asked him, did you ever tell, when they asked 6ix9ine, do you ever tell others to suck your body part? Correct. But you said you had to ponder it. I don't know what ponder means. They actually brought this up. Did you tell others to suck your body parts? Correct. But you just said you had to ponder it. I don't know what ponder means. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Mm-mm-mm. That was the funniest part. Oh, that Hassan guy, that scary looking dude. Yeah, I ain't coming to New York. As long as he's in New York, that's too close. That dude's scary. Dude be like them eyes. Yo, telling you, man. He, I mean, he just be just upset and livid for nothing. Yo, man, I'm serious. The Knicks need to get somebody, man. This makes no sense. Hey, I know. That's why I don't know what's been going on. We've been bleached and everything over there. Hold on. He's here. You ready? Go, 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 go. Yeah. Yeah, man. Them mosquitoes. That's why I think I told you before. This is what, yeah, so, yeah. But that's what I told you before. That's why I think I got bit or something. Like, because I had spiking so many of them. I think I got probably bit of them. That's probably how I got sick. I was thinking that too. Yeah, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of stuff. I just put some bleach and stuff up there. Yeah, I'll be back. I'm still working up here. All right, we're back. Yeah, they asked him was Treyway Entertainment. Well, they asked him, they said, well, is Trey Entertainment, is that a legal corporation? I wouldn't say so. I didn't see no paperwork. Then that's when Mr. Canick comes in, who's representing Anthony Ellison. He said, was the role of my client, Anthony Ellison, was to collect money for you, 6ix9ine? Correct. Denies having memory of Harv collecting for him at a strip club. But now here says his client, the role of Anthony Ellison, who was known as Harv, was he remembers that he was there and his job was to collect money for 6ix9ine. Correct. But he denies having memory of Harv collecting for him at a strip club. And he said, a month after Gummo, how much money did you make? Like 60,000. So he made 60,000. He said, I don't remember uploading the video, but he does remember being filmed in that position. Because Devereaux wanted the video in evidence, but the government objects to the commentary that accompanies. And he was like, do you recall publishing a video pretending you were dead? Can you show me for now in a private viewing? Then they show 6ix9ine on his Instagram post with 6ix9ine saying, someone please snatch my chain for my project can get more publicity. And he's like, did you post this prior to your carjacking? See, that's very key. Sean has come through with the Hulu. Yeah, Andre Emmett, that's sad. Big Three, former NBA player. Rest up in heaven, bro. Now, AUSA, Mr. Michael Longyear, used a line in which they tried to blame LeVar Ball over. He says, I want to switch gears with you now. Now, switching gears, I guess Mr. US, the AUSA guy wasn't trying to be sexual to Mr. Rivera when he says, I want to switch gears with you now. Normally, when you say switch gears, that means change the subject. But anyway, he says, what is your immigration status? Did they come a time where you were arrested by ICE? Yes. Were you detained? Did you speak with law enforcement about cooperating? Yes. Were you released? Did you start driving for Mr. Hernandez again? Yes. As a confidential informant? And that's when The judge jumped in, made everybody stretch. Then they started playing the video of the car. They said, "What is your understanding what the government will do for your exchange for your cooperation, Mr. Rivera?" Rivera, they'll give me a letter saying all the good as well as the bad things that I've done is gone. So they give him a 5K1 letter too. So not only does 6ix9ine get one, George Rivera gets one too. So during cross-examination, Mr. Rivera, were you aware that Mr. Herrera had a number of ratio of social media appearances on July the 22nd and 23rd, right after the supposed kidnapping? No, only the Instagram video I saw. So he said, do you recall watching a video of Mr. Hernandez being interviewed by Angie Martinez? And he said he started watching it, but he never finished. Said, did you ever advise Tekashi that you were cooperating with law enforcement? Mr. Rivera said no. He said, did you ever come to believe that Tekashi suspected you of cooperating with the federal government? Rivera said yes, towards the end. Towards the end. Mm-mm-mm. So towards the end, he figured it out. Mm-mm. And I'll let you guys dwell on that. Don't forget to hit the Cash App up. And don't forget, the name is Carcino on the Cash App, or hit the Streamlab up. I'm out.